show notes. One of these days I will be prepared. One of these days. Sure. Phone is silenced. Have the show notes up. All right. Hi, my name is Squirrel, and I have too many hobbies. And today, even though it is way later, hi, co-host Jackson. Co-host Jackson is making early appearance. So I'm Squirrel. I have too many hobbies, and today is podcast. So we're going to talk about how all my whips are going for my year of finishing, and I do think that's about it. Yeah, I don't really have much of anything else. So grab a drink and your co-host, your fuzzy animal of choice, and maybe a project, and we are going to get right into this episode. So it is way later in the day than I would like. That's why Jackson's being a little bit so needy. I've been to school. I had 2 classes today. Been to the gym. Not eating dinner. That's going to be after this while I edit. Is this episode going to get out at 9 p.m.? No, it's not. And I'm okay with it. But here we are. Got some red wine. I do think I have cat hair on my face. And we are going to... I'm going to put that there. Oh, I didn't notice you can see, like, all my chaos. That's fine. We live in chaos here. Okay, so this week we're using this freaking gorgeous tarot deck. This is the Botanica. I'm pretty sure Botanica tarot deck. Once I get it out, I will tell you who it's by, because that's at the back. Yeah, this is the Botanica tarot deck by Kevin J. Stanton. So, cool beans. And they have a Kickstarter for, I think, a companion oracle deck, and of course I backed it because I have more self-control, but that's because I have less disposable income for tarot cards right now. But cards are beautiful, and I do like to use tarot and oracle decks together, which eventually I'll have a video about. Okay, so we've done a little shuffle. We're all going to take a deep breath. Go. Shuffle a little bit more. And our card for this week is How Lovely. It is the 2 of Cups. So the 2 of Cups is very early on in the cups, and it's about connection and meeting, and kind of what fills your cup. And I have the guidebook, and I want to see what all of these cards have flowers. So we're going to see which flower it is. Thank you, Jackson. Okay, so the 2 of Cups. We have Ghost Orchid, which is those white flowers, and Pond Apple. And they describe it as a relationship existing in perfect harmony, symbiosis, and reciprocity. And it's because the Ghost Orchid co-evolved with a single pollinator whose larvae feed on the Pond Apple. So that's why both these plants are in this card. Beautiful. So think about your own relationships and like the ecosystem in which your relationships exist. And also, I feel like crafting really makes relationships and brings people together, and in a way that's very balancing. So good card for this week. I'm not wearing anything interesting. I'm drinking red wine. It is Pessimist Red Blend. I got it at Target. Honestly, I buy wine for the label. The label's gorgeous. This is the last of the bottle, so I don't have the bottle. Should remember in the future if I get like wine with like cool bottles to like show it. But maybe that's just me. And it was a very long drive home from school, and I nearly got into 2 accidents because it was raining. And even though this is Florida, people don't know how to drive in the rain. So I'm here, and I'm just gonna like, we're just gonna relax, we're gonna chill, and we're gonna talk about knitting and crochet. We were talking about tarot cards. So this is the Neve cardigan by Emily Green, published in Wool and Pine. I have all the notes on my Ravelry. I am knitting it. I'm knitting the size 5. I am knitting it out of Treehouse Knits Yaki Silk in the colorway The Man Who Opened the Door from the Ever After collection. I'm knitting it on size 3 needles, which are the recommended needle size, and I have no idea if I'm on gauge or not. Because, I started knitting, I liked the fabric, so we kept it, so yeah. I don't know if I'm on gauge, but I have a very exciting update. This is so exciting. Okay. So, I've had the back done for quite a while. And because it's late at night and I'm gonna have to figure out lighting at some point. But the back's been done for a while, and I was doing the fronts 2 at a time. Which, and this is my lecture knitting. So this is the knitting I take with me to and from school. So I've done pocket lining, and I've now finished. You can probably tell because it's off the needles. This is one front, and this is the second front. And it actually, like, looks like a sweater. So excited. Also, when I line up the front and the back, it does match. Now, I will say, this shaping that gets really super skinny here, this was not very clear in the instructions. And I did have to, like, spend some time looking at the pictures. Thankfully, in this publication, like, when you get the PDF, there's tons of pictures, and I was able to, like, blow them up really well. So, and I was literally counting stitches. So, I did not find the directions for this shaping very clear. So I was honestly, like, as I was knitting it, because this is the neck shaping. So honestly, as long as the neck shaping was the same on both sides, it didn't really matter. So I was literally taking my, like, if I had a class where I was in the library where I had a little bit more spice, which is rare, I was literally, like, lining up. Okay, so when I knit the length, I lined it up like that. Also, this always freaks me out because the back is, like, slightly longer, but I think it's because the back's been completed for longer. Because I've also, like, it's pretty good. And it's going to get seamed, and honestly, like, we might have to fudge some things in seaming, but it's fine. Okay, and then I've been holding the front to the back like this to kind of make sure that the rate of increasing is the same. And it is in this little point. It's hard to see, but this little point matches up with the point of the back. So I'm super duper excited that everything looks like it's going to work out. I don't normally work pieced sweaters, because at least in the time, so I've been knitting since I was 10 years old, off and on, but the time that I've been, like, seriously knitting, pretty much all patterns are for in the round. They're not very pieced. I am seeing some more piece sweaters come out, mostly with, like, cable works, and the reason for that is honestly because sometimes you need seams for structural support, and this is, like, a pretty long cardigan. It's in fingering weight, and it's 2x2 rib. So without the seams or a faux seam, some wiggly stuff is going on. This is also worked bottom up, and I think it's just because this very Dwarven design, there we go, now you see, this very Dwarven design, this is not cables, this is all done with increases and decreases, even though it does look a little cabley, just kind of how the fabric is. I don't think you could, I think if you did it top down, I think it would point, like, I think if you did this top down, the design would point this way. Like that. Probably someone better than me could figure out how to do it the other way. It's still cool, but, and so I've done all that, and if we're, yeah, so, like, last time we were here, we just, like, started doing these decreasing, so this decreasing went pretty quick, and now I'm on the sleeves. Sleeves, I'm also doing 2 at a time, because I can, and I think it just makes everything the most even. I did consider, when I got to this point, I did consider if I wanted to knit them in the round. Well, first I considered seaming up the front and the back, picking up stitches, and then doing, because it's a raglan construction. So this is coming in here, which is why that point's so skinny. So we have to build out this whole shoulder situation to the underarm, and then the sleeve. And the sleeve has the same chevron design on it. So I considered 2 things. One, I considered to do it in the round, so do each of these, like, in the round until we got to the underarm, and then make it flat, do the shaping, and then seam it. Pro of that is you wouldn't have this underarm seam. You would just have the seams here and here. And I'll get to why I didn't do that in a minute. The other thing I thought was seam everything together, pick up stitches, and do it from the top. But then it was hurting my brain. I couldn't figure out how to do the chevron pattern the other way. It wouldn't have been the end of the world if it was the other way, but I like the way this pattern looks. That's why I picked it. And I didn't want to have to figure out the math by myself. Part of the reason why I pay for patterns, especially for lecture knitting, is because when I'm knitting in class, I'm already paying attention to the lecture. And when I bring things to class, I'm bringing things that I don't have to think about a lot. Which I will say, trying to do this tubular cast on in class was a pain in the ass. I nearly threw it out the window so many times. I ended up just, like, putting it away, and I cast on later. Which is a good note for me, like, don't try and do cast-ons in class. I'm almost done the cuff. The pattern calls for it to be, I think, like, 2 inches. But I like, on this sweater, like, the cuff is... I like the length of this cuff on this sweater. So, because I've been wearing it today, I've basically been, like, holding it up until I get to this length. And then I'll just carry on with the pattern. Because everything's ribbed, I do kind of like the idea of, like, slightly longer cuff. So that's the Neve cardigan. I am flying along that, and I'm very excited to have this done and seamed. And then I have to pick up for the button band. So for the button band, I am considering, the pattern calls for actually like this sweater, for a button band that's ribbed. Pretty much like any other button band. But I don't know, because everything in the pattern's, like, so straight up and down. I kind of want to try and do, like, a double knit button band, which might take some swatching and some doing, and I've never done it before. So I'm definitely gonna, like, pick up all the stitch after it's seamed, and pick up all the stitches like it's directed, and then I might make a game time decision if we're doing the double knit button band or if we're doing the called for button band. I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll find out. You'll find out with me, honestly. Now for couch knitting. So I have not done a lot of couch knitting because 2 weeks ago I had the flu and I was horribly ill. And then the flu turned into pneumonia and I was still horribly ill. And then with all the coughing, I have somehow hurt a muscle in here, like in my ribs, which that sucked and has actually taken a lot of healing, and I haven't been able to go to the gym a lot because like when my arms are down it's fine, but holding, I'm gonna do it with my uninjured hand smartly, so going like this hurts. Also breathing and hiccuping and coughing and sneezing have not been fun, so I haven't been doing a lot of anything. I've been just like going to school or work and coming home and sleeping. That has been my life. I did go to the gym today. I did work out today. It hurt a lot. You use those muscles for a lot of shit, which I was not. Like, intellectually, I know. Because, like, intellectually, I know that. Okay, so. No, your rhomboids are on your back. So this is your lats. This is your latimus dorsi. So intellectually, I know that your lats do a lot of work. But I don't think I like really, like, it doesn't really get into my brain until I do something where I hurt a muscle and I'm like, oh, that's what you use that muscle for. News to me. And I'm not a doctor. I'm a hairstylist. I'm going to school for business, specifically marketing. I am not a doctor, but I have hurt myself a lot. So, I don't think that I have hurt one of the intercostal muscles. I do think I have hurt the lats, just because, like, based on, like, movement. But because of the intercostal muscles, I have not been trying to wear anything, like, too tight in that area across my chest. Just in case. I don't want to, like, if something's weird with those muscles, I don't want to, like, squish it and then it gets more weird. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. But, yeah, that is my safety for the thing is, like, that's, like, you should never, like, wrap your ribs or your torso. That's, like, when people either bind or when I did ballet, like, a million years ago, I danced with a few girls that were bigger, and they would, like, squish themselves down for performances, which is basically like binding, honestly. The amount that they were squishing themselves down was basically like binding, and they were doing unsafe things, like with tape and ace bandages, and you should not do that because your lungs are pressing against your ribs, like this way, like, and then your muscles are, like, pressing back against your ribs. So there's a lot of, like, flexion there and a lot of tension, and you don't want to mess with that at all, ever. Okay, so that's my safety for today. Be careful with your ribs. So now we are on to my second whip, which is my couch knitting, which, again, as I was saying before I got sidetracked, I have not done a lot of because I've been very tired, and my body has needed sleep to heal and not to focus on this monstrosity. But this is my corner to corner blanket. It was supposed to be Fiber Fright Nights by Alt Knots, but because I've basically been doing this whole thing incorrectly, it's just a stripey corner to corner blanket. And last time we were here, we had just started this black stripe. I am decreasing on both sides now. So eventually this gap is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller, which is exciting. It's always nice to be, like, on the downside of fabric of projects, because I do have so many ends. Like, this edge looks pretty nice, if I do say so myself, which is nice because I didn't know I've done this all wrong. See the last video on explaining how I did it wrong. I do need to weave in all the ends, and I am, even though the edge does look nice, I do think I am going to go around and not pick up. See, you can tell I'm so used to knitting. My brain's knitting, because in knitting this would be a pick up edge. But what I think I'm going to do is, after I weave in all my ends pretty good, I'm going to go around with a, like, I honestly think I'm just going to do, like, a single crochet all around, and then maybe, like, a few rows of double crochet, and make, like, a chunky border, because this, so this is, like, almost exactly the size of my couch behind me, so it's, like, a 2-seater couch. It's pretty much the exact size of it, like, when you put it on the back and lay it down. But then I thought maybe I want it a little bit bigger. So doing a border is not going to make it that much bigger. But it will, like, lock in all these ends. And I've ever spent so much time doing double crochet wrong. The entire freaking blanket. Or half double crochet wrong, or whatever. I do kind of want to, like, spend time either doing double crochet or half double crochet in the border, just to kind of, like, get the muscle memory of what it's supposed to be like. And that'll be, because, yeah, this is my first, like, big crochet project, so that'll be it. So I'm honestly considering doing a border that's, like, where's my short side? So this is my short side. Also, I have a lot of yarn, so I kind of want to, like, do a border until I run out of yarn, almost. However big that is. But, like, ideally, it would be, like a chunky border. Kind of give it some different visual interest. That is, so far, the plan. Oh, and I'm using a 5mm hook from this. My hook is from Nerdy Crochet Co., I think. Try and have it posted. Because it is this beautiful finger bones. Which I really, every time I have this in the finger bones, it makes me think of Gideon the Ninth. And I've read Gideon the Ninth, and I've not read the rest of the series, because honestly, I'm still mad at the ending of Gideon the Ninth. I need to suck it up. I need to read the rest of it. But it is what it is. So every time I use the crochet hook, I think about it. So that is my couch knitting project. Last podcast episode, I talked about the swatch that I made for my Nibblings sweater. Have not blocked it, have not cut it to try and steek it. So that's just what it is. And honestly, because the Neve cardigan is getting, like, so close to getting done, I kind of just, like, I want to just, like, push through and get it done. I say that now, watch me get halfway through the sleeves and then stall out. So then, obviously I had no finished objects. We just jumped right into whips. Okay. So now for my year of finishing goals for this month. Touch 3 whips. I've touched 2. Honestly, I'm okay with that. Like, if Neve gets, like, really far done this, and I was, like, sick for half the month, I'm okay with doing 2 out of 3. Update Ravelry pages. I have successfully gone through and made a bunch of Ravelry pages, put some pictures on it, like, the pictures are not the most up to date, but I'm trying to, like, go through basically my camera roll and, like, just throw the pictures up. But I do think, like, most of the stuff is updated on it. So I'm just going to call that good for now. And then I'll try to, like, going forward, take better pictures and, like, finish objects and stuff. I did want to work on my excavation blanket shawl that I keep at, Basically, on Sundays, I'm normally here, but on Sundays, I'm at a different house for reasons that I'm not going to disclose on the internet. So I keep this project at that person's house. I've not worked on it at all because past 2 Sundays that I was there, honestly, I felt really sick. I did have a goal of do I think 5 rows on it, but no. Do you remember to grab that project and bring it to show it, but it's fine. That's it for the goals as we are going through February. Let me look at the calendar real quick. I guess that is my kind of wrap up for Feb, because my next episode, year finishing episode, isn't until March. So let's see, we got 2 out of 3 on one goal. Didn't do anything on another. Yeah, I'm good with it. I kind of set the monthly goals to kind of just keep me a little bit chunk it down to bite-sized chunks, because honestly this whole year-long goal of finish all my whips is a little bit massive, but that's fine. So now we are on to books, and I do try and keep this short and sweet because I am planning on having a knit and chat every quarter where I talk about all the books I've read in depth. So I have a goal this year of reading 52 books. I am currently at 5 books. 5 books finished. I had to double check my notes. Okay, so I'm currently at 5 books finished. So this month, I finally finished Riot Storm, which was very much a slog. And I still can't believe I read that entire series because the romanticy is not for me. And as the series went on, it definitely veered more into romance than to fantasy. But it was fine. I do feel bad for Fallon Bane. I think her ending sucked. She deserved better. So then I read Honeysuckle and Bone, which was the Alt Knots February book club pick. I really liked it. The plot was kind of mid, but it was not mid. The plot was kind of standard, it's kind of formulaic. That's what I'm looking for. The plot was formulaic, but the setting was super cool, and it was in Jamaica. And what I liked about it was the main character had Jamaican parents but grew up in New York, so it gave a good framing device for the author to explain Jamaican folklore in a way, because other characters need to fill this woman in on what was going on, but it didn't feel too oh, here's an info dump about Jamaica. It was really good. I really liked it. And then I finished Riot Storm, Honeysuckle and Bone, and then I finished A Bunt Instrument, which that is part of the Great Witches Baking Show series. It's the 4th book. Those are books that I finished really fast because they're really because they're really short and sweet, and they're good palate cleansers. And honestly, I should have read one after I finished Riot Storm, but I didn't. So finished that. And then I'm still working on Dreadful, which is almost done. Although in Dreadful they have these moat squids, and I kind of want to crochet a moat squid to go with the Dreadful book once I'm done. And then I just started House of Hunger, and I'm really enjoying it. It's vampires. I like vampires. Okay, which brings us to life stuff. I got a new car. New to me car. It was a car that my parents had. They were not using. It needed some money put into it. So it is now my car. I love it so much. I'm very excited because my old car was basically she turned on when she wanted to. So yeah. So this car consistently turns on, which is great because I drive a lot, which is also how I get through so many books because I am an avid audiobook person. I already talked about the plague and Ugh, it's terrible. And school is kind of kicking my ass right now because I'm kind of in the middle of a lot of things. So a lot of stuff's going on. It's fine. I'm really. Oops, sorry, Jackson. Sorry, buddy. I'm really hoping that this semester, it's just going to be chaos from now going on. But it's fine. It's fine. We'll figure it out. I'm so close to being done. I just want to be done. So I'm just kind of like ticking things off as we go, and we will get through it. Okay. And then acquisitions. I forgot acquisitions. So I have not, because I've been working on finishing my whips, I've been really trying to not buy yarn. So I'm doing good on that. But the Kintra pattern by Rebecca Clow came out, and I am a Rebecca Clow fangirl. I just am. I'm here. I love all of her designs. I think I own most of her patterns at this rate. Have I knit all of them? No. I have not, but I like to have them. I like her so basically the reason why I buy her patterns when they come out is I really like her writing style. And I find that our gauge is pretty similar. Like, her tension and my tension seem to be about the same in a lot of ways. So, and she's building, her designs are interesting, but they're also, very, classic shapes. So, the Kintra is a round yoke. So then I'm like, okay, cool. Well, now I have, a round yoke sweater for DK and fingering weight. All the math is done for me. So then if I, find, a color work motif that I want to put on a round yoke sweater, I have to do less work to, plug it in. Because I have a round yoke sweater that I like than doing stuff. So I basically just buy all her patterns. And it's fine. You know what? I go back. We're not going to talk about the fact that I buy all of Rebecca Clow's patterns when she releases them, because we're just going to see the above note that I'm a Rebecca Clow fangirl, and we're just going to leave it at that. And I'm not going to apologize for it. Okay, so now we're going to go back to admin. So for admin, so this is, whenever this goes up, this is my year of finishing podcast. That means our next video is a knit and chat, or a crochet and chat, because I've been working on that blanket. It's a knit and chat, and this one's going to be about, I'm calling it Intro to Horror, or Intro to Horror Literature. I've actually done a lot of research on it, which, I should probably try to not have knit and chat episodes that have a lot of research when I'm in school and I'm doing a lot of research, but it's fun research. And honestly, this might end up being multiple videos. Or a really long video. I haven't decided yet. We'll find out when I sit down and start talking at the camera, because I really like horror literature. I've recently started watching more horror movies, but I've always read horror literature, and then also horror adjacent, so things like suspense and crime and thriller. I've always read stuff like that. I've always read fantasy and sci-fi, kind of what I like to read. So I want to do kind of an intro to horror literature, and then I was also thinking I might do intro to fantasy, or do other genres, but to be so for real, horror probably has the tightest scope. And then I say that, and I feel no, it's only 6 subgenres. So we're gonna start with horror, and we'll go on further, and it's fine. And then after the Wednesday after that, hopefully I'll be back on Wednesdays. That'll be another podcast. It'll be another thing like that, like this, where I talk about finished object whips, acquisitions, etc., etc. And you can keep up with my goal of my year of finishing and how many whips I have managed to finish this year. Hopefully it's more than just one. I'm aiming for 6. I know I say like the goal of the year is like I want to finish all of them. But if I finish 6 that are on my needles right now, I'll be so freaking happy. And I'm still going to cast on new stuff through the year. It's fine. Okay, so that is everything that I've been knitting, reading, extraneous other stuff. Probably gonna heat up my dinner and edit this and hopefully have it up sometime today or tomorrow. You know what? I'm saying it now because you know what, actually I'm gonna call it. This one's gonna come out on Thursday and we'll just slowly kind of creep back to that Wednesdays at 9 time slot. Alright, so I hope that you have a great rest of your day and your knitting's going well and not causing you want to throw it against the wall. And I will see you in a week with a really fun knit and chat. So I'm excited. Alright, bye.